Welcome to the Accounting Hub, where we are going to tackle the exercise that we did some time before. So, question 1 saying in column A, calculate based on 2022 figures that assuming there was an increase of 17% to everything, that is from 2021 into 2022. So in my TB, I've got 2022 figures, but in my prior year, there is nothing. So what I'm saying is, let's assume that the figures that are in 2022 was as a result of a 17% increase of values, which were in 2021. So if I come and say equals debit minus credit, it is going to retain a now value. Why? Because column D has a text inside. If you can see, it is not formatted to numeric. So you may not know how each and every column is formatted. So we are to use the if function. So what are we saying? I'm saying if D is equal to nothing, you put double quotes as it is. Obviously, if there is nothing, you are going to say credit, return column E, which is credit, but our credit should be times minus 1 to make it get into the positive. Else, if there is something, we return column D. So we are saying if D5 is equals to nothing, return E5, which is the credit, times minus 1, else return D5. So I've actually retained the same figure, which is in column D or E. But I now want to get the 17% and deduct it from this figure. So what it means is I'm going to still use the existing formula. I'll just say minus, and then I put double brackets. Brackets are so important so that the system will know how to calculate the concept of the body mass. I put the same formula, then times 0.17, and then by so doing, it means I've subtracted the 17% from these values that are coming from 2022. Then I replicate, I copy down the formula. Now in column F, read the the values from column D and E, which means we just want to have a cumulative value. If it's a debit, it remains positive. If it's a credit, it should be negative. So it is the same formula that we are going to apply here. That is if function. Same formula, you are saying if debit is equal to nothing, then return credit, but it should be times minus 1, meaning to be negative. Else, if it's having a value, return column D. Then I copy down the formula. Right, we have achieved what we want in point 1 and 2. In dates, row 3, we are to report as a December 2022, end of 31. As date, what, December, and put a formula in prior year. This one is very simple. In the dates, and I've put year 31 December 2022, prior year. Since 2022 is numeric, I'll just say equals 2022 minus 1. then it gives me 2021. In cell D4, write a formula that reads the full month name in cell range I4 to I15. Right. We want to retain the full month names based on what is put in column D3. So we are going to use an index match formula here, equals index. What is it that we want to retain if the values match? Want to retain January to December. Then we can actually lock the cells so that we always constantly use the same range. Then you say match. What is it that we want to match? Open bracket. We want to match this D3, which is going to be fixed. You do absolute cell referencing. Where should I search the D3 from this range? Then you can lock the cells. The reason why we lock cells is when you move the formula down, you should not change the range, but it should remain constant and fixed within the same range. Comma 0. 0 means exact as it is illustrated here. Then you close the brackets twice. Why am I closing the brackets twice? I've opened bracket 1 and the bracket 2. So it means I have to close the brackets twice. And then it retains my December. If I write APR, it retains also April. If I write AUG, it retains August. If I bring back to December, it returns to December. Right, in cell B4, write a formula that is dynamic to read the period, to read for the period ended in cell B4. Right, we are going to use concatenate. Concatenate means to join data together. So I'm going to write for the period ended. I go to text 2, I put space, I choose 31. I go to the next text, I put space, I choose December. I scroll down, I put space, and I choose the year. Then I say OK. Right, as you can see, it's not making sense where the other part is in caps and the other one is in lower. I can put a formula equals upper, open the bracket, close the bracket, and then need to make everything in uppercase. Then in B5, put the company name accounting hub in cell B5. Accounting hub. So what we want to do is every report that are notes or any schedule or the report should now read from these details. So if I go to notes 5 and 6, I can say equals, then I choose, I have to write equals, put the company name, then notes to the financial statements equals, and then I read my dates for the period ended 31 December. So each time I change here, maybe I say it's March, then automatically it should also be changing here.